Kelby Smith with the Smith News Network. Actually, this is HISAdvocates.tv, and I want to do a quick couple of updates with you guys before I get going on this new episode, number 234. The United States can lawfully propagandize its citizens. Can you believe that? Is that something a little strange? To me, it seems very strange, and it's a question that you need to ask yourself why. And then every single thing that you hear on television, from the movies to TV to radio, is completely open to being a potential piece of propaganda or a lie. And so I want you guys to consider that while I'm pondering, why is that? Why did they make this allowable in the greatest nation on earth? And why aren't we discussing this a little more? Why isn't it more of a table conversation in the home when somebody says the government would never, ever lie to you? Well, I'm going to show you tonight where they're allowed to in the law. So first and foremost, thank you for joining. And I want to thank you to the 22,000 subscribers. We did at one time a year and a half ago. We had about 16,000. We got knocked off YouTube. And it takes a long time to get up the bandwagon of YouTube subscribers. And we're at 22,000. I assure you, with the information that's coming across from this, from HISAdvocates and from the people in general of freedom that are thinking freedom together, they are promoting and pushing and getting this information out to the masses. Our phones are going off the hook. People are answering the phones. We have a great customer service team. State citizenship is the best way to protect yourself in the event of anything. And I will be explaining that very thoroughly with a different mindset than I think I've ever had to you guys over the next week or two. So first, we're not going to be live on Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, or any of the other networks for the next 2 months. We are going to leave our channel up, but we've moved to a new network, and we're incorporating Samsung.tv and LG.tv to our portfolio. So we're basically going to be on every TV in the world under the name of HISAdvocates as our channel brand. What's exciting for me is that we have had this opportunity only brought to us by the failure, or what we thought was a massive failure, of us being taken off of YouTube. So first and foremost, in the darkest of dark days, you got to understand there's always a corner that needs to be turned, and God has plans. And so his plans were to put us on TV across the world and not just on YouTube. So for the next couple months, we will be going live on YouTube, and we will be avoiding those nasty words that get us in trouble. We did get us a strike, and we don't know what we said on that particular broadcast. It was medical disinformation. And I think I said something that I can't even say right now about not liking something. And I got a strike, and it was so odd to me, because I watched so many other programs out there, and they talk about it and exhaust, every element of that dialogue on a live broadcast, and they never get taken down. And so I don't know why I get picked on. It is what it is. But I want to thank the 22,000 subscribers that we have on YouTube, and I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time and to watch us. As you do. We do hold a prayer service on Sundays. Why? This country needs prayer. It sounds odd from a guy like me, but this country needs prayer, and so we're here for you in that regard. We have several shows that we're doing, but I'm just going to focus on YouTube for the next 2 months while we get our networks transferred and move into a new network and a new thing that will help with reporting. We're going to be bringing on all kinds of technologies, and it's very exciting. I got to go out to Vegas and meet the CEO of one of the TV companies, and that was a big day. We inked the deal about 3 weeks ago, and here we go. So YouTube, God bless you. Thank you for doing whatever you've done for us thus far. We don't want to discount that fact. I think that a show like this is going to explain why these different corporations known as governments are able to do what they're able to do in a quote-unquote quasi color of law bill, or what we would call an act, which doesn't seem like to me a real bill, but it is an act of Congress. It's HR. Here, let me share my screen. It's HR 5736. Now, here's the nut of it. I can help you read this 3 or 4 times. I'm going to explain it to you in this way. This act was brought about in 1948. It was for the purposes of disseminating both propaganda and information about the United States and the United States of America to other foreign countries. Now, what HR 5736 does in 2012, it amends it and alters the act, so now they're allowed to do it to the good citizens of the United States as well. And so when you look at, and there's things on Google, it says, and I'm going to show you how the U.S. repeals the propaganda ban. No. And it says it's like a good day for the freedom of, rights of the First Amendment. And it's the ACLU. That's not what happened. Quite literally, you're going to see in the law how they are allowed to propagandize U.S. citizens. So the first paragraph reads, the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act amends the United States Information and Educational Act of 1948 to authorize the Secretary of State and the Broadcasting Board, So read through that. And then just go down here, the third paragraph. It amends the Foreign Relations Authorization Act fiscal years 86-87 to prohibit funds for the Department of State or the board from being used to influence public opinion or propagandizing in the United States. Now, if you were to read that 4 or 5 times, you would understand that it amends, it makes you think that it's not allowing to do that because it's currently saying you're not allowed to do that. But what this does, it amends that act that says you can't do that. So in other words, this act is allowing for you, I know it's completely confusing, but until you read this and digest it, what this act is doing, it's changing the act of 1948, allowing for U.S. citizens to be propagandized right here on congress.gov. Here's a great article from FP, the USP, U.S. repeals propaganda ban, spreads government made news to Americans. For decades, a so-called anti-propaganda law prevented the United States government's mammoth broadcasting arm from delivering programming to American audience. In other words, from now, remember this is just shortly after it was created, now this so-called anti-propaganda law has been amended. It doesn't say that, but it was. And the U.S. government's mammoth broadcasting arm from delivering programming to American audiences, but only on July 2nd that came silently to an end. Okay. Now, when you want to go to the United States to ask a question about its legality of their ability to lie to Americans, well, that's exactly what the word propaganda and propagandize means. You have to look no further than the U.S. Agency for Global Media, and basically they want to give it a good light. That doesn't mean we're allowed to lie. And so I want to put that in there too, because they don't want you to think that they are allowed to lie. And they don't want you to think that things were approved when they weren't. And they don't want you to think that things were needed on your face and they weren't. So the point I'm trying to make is everybody has a different opinion. The only thing you need to do is understand the law protecting the United States from propaganda was repealed in 2012. So what do we do with that as Americans? First and foremost, I'm not a United States citizen. Does that affect me? Yeah, it affects me. I'm a state citizen. What is the difference of the United States? That's a whole nother show. You can look at our channel and you can digest and understand that for yourself later. The point I'm trying to make, does it affect me? Yes, it does affect me. Why? Because I still see things. I still understand things about things that are being broadcast to me, and it's very specific to misrepresent, and I'm seeing this all the time. And so when you start to look at information like false flags and the propagandizing around that, this gives permission and legal structure for them to be able to promote that as truthful on television and or in movies. And so I want really for us to just step back and so this is for that dialogue in your home. When somebody says, why would the government ever lie to us? Well, understand something. The entire structure and system about conspiracy theories, why that word was created by the CIA back when JFK Jr. was killed. It was a conspiracy going around and a theory at the time made by the federal government, by the people watching what happened to JFK. But the element of conspiracy theory was given to us by the federal government, by the CIA to be specific. But we all believe that Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK exclusively by himself. Well, it's been said for years that there's no way. Oliver Stone, I think, proved it very well in his movie that he created. But it just recently came out from a member within the CIA that the CIA had firsthand knowledge of and participated in the killing of an American president. That was issued by Tucker Carlson on Fox News. But is he lying? I don't know. Could they have been telling the truth at first? Now he's lying to just screw us up? I don't know. Is Tucker a good guy? He seems to be. He's one of the few, I think. I still think he doesn't quite understand, really, truly, the mechanics of what's going on in this nation. I don't think a lot of people understand how this nation is structured. I think people still are looking at the leadership of a man by the name of Joe Biden, who's tripping over everything, can't find a podium. If he was given a GPS signal and a armed security guard escort, would not be able to locate a podium to give a speech. And man, he's fallen every other day. I think they got to address this a little bit quicker. But the bottom line is, what are we going to do about this? Because here is a corporation by the name of the United States with all of its employees called citizens, who are now allowed to utilize the television, social media networks to lie to you about everything. And so that means anything, including but not limited to what we're watching every day with the new releases of UFOs in our skies over bases specifically. All of this stuff is now able to be sent through every element of radio, TV, newspaper, social media, movies, for you to be programmed to think a different way about a different subject. And I think that we have bigger issues at hand, like AI and what AI is coming forth with, and why AI is able to now utilize. AI is artificial intelligence. I think it could be used for good. I think it could be used for helping you support you in your business. I think I have yet to use it. I'm not going to say I'm never going to use it. I think I'm going to try to use it for good. I think I'm going to try to, think about this. And I just threw out a quick video to the VIP members for HISAdvocates.org. And I asked them to watch a video from the Google AI creator. This guy's extremely intelligent, and he quit Google because he realized he's at a moment. They're at the singularity moment, a new era, a place in which there's really no return from, where AI is actually going to become smarter and smarter and smarter to the point where it could be like 1 billion times smarter. And what blew my mind about this video was, I think we are really, if you're worried about an administration, that's the least of your concerns. But what's interesting biblically, I know people don't want to go there, but biblically, when you look at the mark of the beast in Revelations 13, it's the mark of man. And we look at the chipset coming from Microsoft 060606. That's the chip patent number on patentscope.com. You can go to hisadvocates.org and go to the search tool in the top right corner, type 666, and you'll see that patent. Now, when you look at that patent, you start to wrap your mind around what is the purpose. Well, it's control. And the time frames that they have in place for all of this stuff is by 2026. So I want you guys to think for a second. We're in 2023, and that is not very long. The amount of intelligence that AI is being used to run this world with, I think that mark of man, which is going to be that beast system, supercomputer system, buried in the ground in Colorado, I think we have a reckoning coming. And so I share these things with you guys to take into a consideration, not a conspiracy theory. I can basically, the Bible can say whatever it wants, but it keeps coming true for whatever reason. 2,000 years ago written, or 3,000, whatever, between the different authors, and all of it coming true. So I share that stuff with you just to kind of make you think, keep your mind going, and make you be smart, because the things in which we're facing, I think we need to become smarter ourselves and really wake up to the reality of where we're headed in a very few short years. So I want to encourage you guys. Number one, there's no doubt in my mind we win in the end. There's no doubt. I know the end of the book. I understand who my father is, and this quote unquote war with these elements of being able to go after our free speech are coming to an end. And people want to call them the end of days. I want you guys to understand, first and foremost, it's the beginning of days. It's the beginning of an opportunity for all of us to have something great, both here on this earth and maybe potentially beyond. But there's a great thing going on right now, and I don't want people to poo-poo in their mind because everything is being oppressed around them. But when you are looking at the amount of disinformation and what is being said, now you know why they are able to do it. And this is a short video today. We're going to be doing another one in a couple of days for you guys, just to keep the episodes going on HISAdvocates.tv. Really, guys, appreciate you guys listening. Do me a favor, forward this, like, subscribe, and forward this to your family and friends. And please ask them to like and subscribe too. This is important for us to get our minds wrapped around. It's knowledge. Knowledge is the first component for us to be able to do something. Without the knowledge and without the understanding of why they're able to do what they're doing, or what's going on in all these different social media accounts, confusing all of us about and making us all hate each other, all fight each other. I do want to say something. For the last, 6 months, 4 months, 5 months, I believe that the nucleus of the American family, or family in general, is the most critical thing that we have to protect us from a communist nation. If we can work on the ethics of keeping family together, and we have a chance in this nation. If AI is able to screw that up somehow and break people up, spread indifference, spread racism, I want you to consider the source. In the last 4 months, I have at least 1 to 2 beautiful AI women coming to try to introduce themselves to me on Facebook. And I want you to know something. Do not have conversations with people that you do not know. And flirt with the idea, because the grass is not greener because some beautiful woman half your age reached out to you for the first time on Facebook, and it's never happened before. I assure you that it is a structural system designed by a robot, a brain that is far superior to a man's brain from a knowledge standpoint, that is working towards trying to break up the people, trying to get people to move on in a relationship, and trying to break up the family nucleus. I assure you, at least 20 different opportunities in the last 4 months alone. So do me a favor and respect that. And also understand that a couple of those pictures, because I keep blocking them, but a couple of those pictures, reach out, say hi, hello. And now I want you to engage this for a second. You start communicating with them, right? Well, I didn't. Well, I checked back to go down to history to find a conversation with another person, and I found a guy, and it was no longer a girl. So can you imagine finding or engaging a conversation with a girl, becoming compromised and having a deep sexually explicit conversation, and then it turns to a guy later and then you get caught. Can you imagine that? I just want you to throw that out there a little bit. How about don't do it at all? How about understand these accounts are just a few months old? How about understand that they look like AI, and for whatever reason AI is out there trying to split the whole world apart, and this is a way to get it done, is try to hit the men and the family nucleus and all that. So if any of you guys are out there engaging this, stop it, cut it off right now. That's all I got to say. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Go to HISAdvocates.org and join for free. Text the word freedom to this number right here, 855-452-0499. Again, 855-052 or 452-0499. And also download a HISAdvocates app on your Android or your Apple phone. And it'll be a new app probably in 2 months. We're working on that right now. But God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another couple days with a great topic. Good night.